Welcome viewers, it's Mo from the Momentors Talkshow, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentors Talkshow, bye-bye. And it's a very good afternoon to you viewers, and thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of the Momentors Talk Show for leading women. And today I am here in the studio to really be able to talk to some ladies who I have strategically asked to join me as we launch the talk show for Momentors. And if you're at home and you're watching and you're thinking, what is this talk show for? This talk show is meant to be a platform that allows you to receive inspiration, to know that against all odds you can do more, and you can do more because you have capacity for more, with the theme adversity breeds success. So in the studio today, I just want to take my time to welcome a special lady, Mr. Lorraine.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm so excited.
Hello, Mr. Lorraine.
Hello.
And in her own words, she says that for some people, destiny chooses them, but for her,
It chose me, that's the thing.
she was chosen by destiny. So can you tell us a bit more about yourself, Mr. Lorraine?
So yeah, I'm Mr. Lorraine. I'm a comedian. I have got a very deep voice, so I'm always mistaken for a man over the phone. So many arguments. I'd get letters addressed to a Mr. Lorraine, etc., etc. So through all that trauma, I just thought, you know what, let me just take this and make a comedy act out of it. So my jokes, they write themselves. All I have to do is pick up a phone and have a conversation with customer services. So yeah, so I've started doing comedy in 2017 and I'm not looking back. So I'm just looking to take the comedy forward and use the voice.
Absolutely amazing. And I think for me, that really strikes right with what this program is about.
Exactly,
because
yeah.
we're saying, adversity, breeds success, and for yourself, through that adversity of having been born with a man's voice.
Exactly.
It's landed you into comedy.
Yes, it has.
And it's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, and welcome to the show once again, to the Momentors Talk Show.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, so viewers, as you heard, this is Mr. Lorraine, and I've just really been talking to her about how she landed into success via her own adversity. And this is what this show is looking to do. So if you're out there and you're listening and you've been in a place where you've had adversity, I want you to connect with the Momentors Talk Show, and let's come and hear your story. So second in line, I have a beautiful lady here, Claire Robinson. And Claire, she's from the Franchise Limited Association. But I'll ask her to introduce yourself. Welcome to the show this afternoon.
Hi Mo, thanks for having me here. So as you said, I'm the Approved Franchise Association. All things franchise basically. I help people to franchise their business. I'm a franchisor myself, so I franchise my own business, and I head up the Approved Franchise Association. So I help give people an accreditation that are franchise owners as well. But I suppose what led me down that road is divorce. I had 3 children I had to bring up myself, and so I had to work, and so I built the business. I've had my ups and downs over the years, as we've chatted about before.
Yes.
But yeah, so.
And it's absolutely inspirational and very, for me, this is really what gives me life, to see that, when something hits you down, you come up, just like that, and it forms something. And for me, that's really, really inspiring. And that's what I want this show to be able to do, to show the viewers that actually, and anybody listening, that actually, when you're going through that challenge, see it as a storm. They talk about eagles, they need storms to be able to rise up above the clouds And it's really lovely to see it. I know that I'm working closely with you
We are.
in my own business, and I'm going to be rolling out the franchise. So viewers, if you are looking to grow your business into a franchise, this is your go-to lady. So thank you so much for coming on to this show today. And again, viewers, you will be seeing me speaking to women from different leading positions. And that's what this show is about. So, you're not just looking at the woman leading in business. We're talking about the woman leading in finance, the woman leading in ministry. And which brings me to introduce my next guest to you. A lady that I totally love and respect. Welcome to the floor, Mrs. Fikelephi Jackson. If she can introduce herself and what she really does.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm really honored to be amongst these great ladies. Fikelephi Jackson is an author and an award-winning author. I have put my whole odds into the book. Against all odds, I'm still standing. As I rose up, I realized that, wow, I am actually somebody. The day I discovered that, I was like, wow, what's my purpose on earth? And I'm here really to say, against all odds, your viewers too can stand, because God has a plan and a purpose for our lives. But through our growing up, we might believe otherwise because of the labels, like she was saying, she's divorced, and, we're going to hear so many more stories. But those things do not define who we are. Really who we are great women who have somewhere to go. We are on a journey. So I'm honored to be here.
Wow.
Thank you.
Amazing. And it's lovely to see Mrs. Jackson on the platform, because, you're talking about God and how, obviously through your odds you were able to find God and end up finding your purpose.
That's right.
in those odds and in those challenges.
That's right.
And viewers, this is, what we're looking to do through this platform, to show you that despite whatever demons, things you're facing, challenges, adversity, whatever situation you find yourself in, you can do more and you can be more from where you are right now. So thank you so much for sharing, Mrs. Jackson. And that will lead me on to really introduce my next guest panelist, a lady I absolutely love and adore. Doesn't she look absolutely amazing?
She does.
Yeah, so this is Evelyn Opkanachi. So I'll ask Evelyn to introduce herself to the audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo. It's such a pleasure being here. My name's Evelyn Opkanachi. I wear many hats, so I would probably start by saying my latest venture, which is Rich Women Africa magazine. So that's the launch of the magazine, where we're looking at the women reimagined. So it's an amazing project. So what we had realised is that the African woman was misrepresented. And so it was really important to bring that back to the forefront. So we looked at this and decided that we need to look at women that are leading, women that are making an impact, women that have touched the world, not just in Africa, but internationally. African women are doing great things. So it's really important to me to see women thrive. So Rich Women Africa is an amazing venture. And as I said, an amazing team that we work with. It's such an amazing opportunity that I've been given to work on Rich Women Africa. Also, women empowerment is the forefront. It's seeing women empowered to do greater, to understand the purpose that is within them. And as we know, with women, we face a lot of challenges, as you rightly said, around limitations. And I want women to break free from those limitations and to believe in themselves and know that they can do better. So not only Rich Women Africa, I founded Victorious Ladies, which is a social enterprise, again, pushing women to the forefront, knowing that you can do what you want to do.
Oh, you can do
and
more.
You can do more. And yeah, so that's so that's probably part of what I do.
Amazing.
Thank
And you know, which is what, you know, brings me to, you know, my name is strategically positioned for women, to inspire women to do more. And which is why, you know, I kind of thought more mentors, you know,
Awesome.
more mentors women to do more. And what a right time for you to actually bring out this magazine. So viewers, you want to really be able to connect with Evelyn, because, you know, for me, I think I was watching recently on the news, and it said that Miss World is a woman from South Africa.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So you know, what a right time for you
Exactly.
to be raising a magazine of this nature, and really pushing the African woman to the forefront.
Definitely.
You know, it's really, I think it's the right positioning, and you want to get in touch with Miss World and actually make sure
Definitely,
she is
definitely.
featured in this magazine.
Definitely.
And she had a short hair as well, which
yeah.
is
She
what
looked amazing, didn't she? She looked
Lovely.
amazing. So it's definitely the African woman reimagined.
Reimagined.
So, and that's what we want
Excellent.
our readers to know, that there is so much more to the
There
African
is so
woman.
much. So what sort of stories are you looking for? You know, if we've got viewers here who may want to be featured in the magazine, what sort of, you know, stories are you looking at? Are you looking at women only in business, or, you know, what exactly? Give us a typical example.
Sure.
Of
So
your
the type of
typical
women that we are
clients.
looking at for Rich Women Africa, so for those of you who've not seen it, it's women that are making an impact. So even within your communities, we are all touching lives. So it is a lifestyle magazine. It is a lifestyle that touches on, a magazine that touches on all areas of Africa. So there are times that we can be looking at politics, social impacts. We're looking at women that want their voice to be heard, and they want to make an impact. So sometimes we want to do more, but we actually don't have the platform to be able to do it. So we wouldn't have the vehicle. So when you have a magazine like Rich Woman Africa that is international and has a lot of leverage, your voice is able to speak to the masses, and that's what we want, and that's the purpose of Rich Woman Africa. So from all walks of life, we are looking at women that are making an impact and want to make an impact and want their voice to be heard. So from entertainers to, it could be the housewife that has a business in her back garden and she's, you know, feeding the orphans.
Yeah.
Whatever you are doing that you believe that actually my voice needs to be heard.
Yeah.
I want the world to know that I'm doing more, and we're not just sitting in a cave somewhere. So
Amazing.
that's why it is
And,
Africa
you know,
Reimagined.
Reimagine, redefine.
Yes.
So viewers, you heard for yourself. So if you're that woman and you might be watching the show or know somebody who actually is making an impact, because you know what, it's about those women who are the agents of change.
Yes.
You know, you want to connect them to Evelyn, Opkanachi, and the Rich Women magazine Africa for the team, and you want to make sure that person is featured in here because we want their voice to be heard. So thank you so much for sharing. That's totally inspiring. Just moving on, and I've got my lovely, I'm going to sit back a bit. So I've got Eula Clarke, and I was reading her story in her bio earlier, and it said, you know, she came from Jamaica at the age of 9 years of age. From the age of 9, and she's been here in the United Kingdom and has won many awards. You know, you've blossomed really, Eula, from having come from an age of 9. So can you just give us a bit of background about yourself in terms of who you are, what you do, and just to the viewers? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo, for inviting me here and to hear everybody else speak. It's been a pleasure to be surrounded by such lovely ladies. Yes, my background, as you said, I came up from the Caribbean 9 years ago. I'm now heading for my 65 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah, don't feel, don't look it.
You look good.
Married for the last 42 years, so have one daughter. And I started really in corporate banking. And so throughout that lifetime of corporate world, had its ups and downs and had its challenges. But I took early retirement 2 years ago, and obviously I look after Mum who is not well at the moment. But I also had a little bit of ill health myself, and I'm now sort of into the health side of things, as well as setting up my own consultancy. that looks after, you talked about women in leadership, you talk about ladies having a voice. That's where my remit is as well, because a lot of people are frightened to share their story in the fear that somebody's going to steal their ideas and run with it. And so my job is to say, no, you've got this goal or ambition, it's your story. No matter if somebody steals it, they're not going to deliver it the same way, because it's your vision. So that's part of my consultancy. But the biggest fact for me is the health and wellness side. There's a lot of people that need support with, I'm into alternative health, that need support and are not getting it. And therefore, they'd rather take a medication from the doctors. And we're saying there's something over here that can support you. I've used it and it's helped me. Because I was quite big. I was a size 20 and I'm now down to a 16.
Wow.
And you see the skin? I'm a vision of a detox, and obviously we have events coming up and so on. So if anybody's interested, again, that's kind of my story, encompass around supporting and being a servant leader within the community. I've done a lot for the community while I was in my corporate world. So
Awesome.
Absolutely amazing. And reading from Eula, and I'll get the opportunity to actually have each and every one of the ladies here individually to talk to you about your personal journey, because I know that it's power packed and within the time frame that we have of the show we won't be able to get to where we need to. But you've heard for yourself Eula Clarke from Clarke Associates, and she is used her experience in the corporate world, in the finance sector. Her adversity of ill health has led her to take the journey of wanting to empower other women through their health, and that's the way it should be, and that's so amazing. So viewers, if you're watching the Momentors Talk Show, and this is our very first episode where I talk to women from leading positions and diverse backgrounds. So if you're watching from home or you're watching a playback on YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe and catch us in the next segment, where I will be talking to the ladies about some of the challenges of leadership as women. What sort of challenges are they facing, and what exactly can we say to the younger generation? What words of inspiration do we have to say to that woman who may be aspiring to get into leadership? And that is what we're going to be talking about in the next segment. Thank you for watching the Momentous Talk Show. Welcome viewers, it's Mo from the Momentous Talk Show, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentous Talk Show, bye-bye. Welcome viewers, it's Mo from the Momentous Talk Show, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentous Talk Show, bye-bye.
We need to talk. We need to get details, please. We need to get details.
Welcome viewers to the second part of the first edition of the Momentous Talk Show, and thank you once again for tuning in. And if you're watching on Sky 589 Faith World TV, or you could be watching from the website or the playing back on the YouTube channel, make sure you press the S button, which is to subscribe, so that you can keep posted with the show. And in the studio today we had a fantastic panel of guests that joined me, and we heard from our lovely Mr. Lorraine, who was talking about how adversity led her, being born with a man's voice, how she's been able to turn that adversity into actually landing on being a comedian, and she's actually now using that voice to actually entertain people. So I just wondered whether I can draw you into that story, Mr. Lorraine, and let's get talking.
So like I said, I mean, most of my troubles really started with like having to use customer services. You know, banks don't want you in the bank. They'd rather you call them, and all these services, they'd rather you call them. So each time I call, they think I'm a man. So I have to go through security. I tell them my mother's maiden name. I tell them my name, my date of birth, etc., which I know is correct. But then they tell me I've got something wrong, and I know, you know, they're lying, but they just say, "Oh, we can't tell you anything." So they had to tell me all the time, "You have to go into the branch of the bank with your ID." But when you go to the branch of the bank, they'll point to a phone in the corner, so I'm calling the bank while I'm in the bank. And what really drove me to the edge was I was in a bank. I went to the bank and they pointed to the phone in the corner. I picked it up, and the guy told me I failed security because he asked for my name, mother's maiden name, etc. And then he said I needed to go to the bank with my ID. I'm saying, but I'm already in a bank. So then afterwards, I hand over my details to one of the workers. They take over the conversation. So this guy on the other end must have said, you know, is that really a woman? Because this person in front of me was looking at me corner of their eye, and they're like, yes, it's a woman. And I'm sure you must have said, are you really, really sure? Because this guy was staring at my chest for like 5 seconds long. It was really embarrassing. And after that, I was they just dismissed me and told me, you know, you can just use your account. I sat in my car almost in tears, no word of a lie. And I was thinking, how can people do this to me? And then they call me again because probably they listened to the call and it was embarrassing for them. And they're apologizing for, you know, what had happened. And they say, oh, we'll offer you, you know, £80 for your troubles, but £80 is not worth, you know, my troubles. But I just turned that whole story into a joke, because the end of that story is I then asked her, you know, do other banks do this £80 thing? So I go and register with Lloyd's, Barclays, NatWest, Metro. So but that's the thing. So those moments when even if I needed to apply for a loan over the phone, I had to make my voice a little bit high pitched and like, "Hi, I'm Lorraine," just to get that. And I just thought, how long am I going to continue doing this? And I just decided, this is my voice. If you want to speak to Lorraine, if you call my number, I'm going to answer. If you don't like it, then find yourself another Lorraine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And what a journey. So is this something that's been from very early on set? You've always had...
So I think probably like in my teens, I noticed my voice was a lot deeper. So you get teased at school, etc., etc. So if you say hi to somebody, they're like, "Oh, hi, my name's Lorraine." You know, that sort of thing. But I never really... It bothered me, but not as much. But I think what got worse is the whole changing in customer service, where you just have to phone somebody, and sometimes you try and use an app, and then the app doesn't work, and then they say call us. So I used to avoid making calls because I always knew where it would end. But I just thought, how long am I gonna be put in this position? You know, I just have to be Lorraine. For me, there's one quote that really resonates with me, which says, you know, to be beautiful means to accept yourself. You don't have to be accepted by others. You have to accept yourself. So I just accepted myself this way, and that's just the way it goes, really.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And you know, I did say that I would dare you to share with my viewers some of the jokes that you're, you know, because it's really amazing. The first time I saw you, I was absolutely like, wow. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. You know, adversity breeds success. You know, when the enemy throws in that fire, throws in the fire, you're not getting burned because you're about to be propelled to greatness. And you know, can you share with the viewers probably 1 or 2 lines of what you know what they can expect to hear from Mr. Lorraine if they do subscribe to your work?
So I mean, some of the things I talk about is just to do with, you know, with the names, like being from Zimbabwe. You know, sometimes, you know, people have names like a beautiful name in Shona is Hajine, but then it gets translated to doesn't matter. So I always say that, you know, when my mother, you know, wanted to register my name, she wanted to call me Low Range to celebrate my voice, but they thought they misunderstood it. So I ended up with Lorraine, a slice of quiche. And, you know, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, wow. It's a journey, and well done you for holding yourself up and, you know, not allowing it to get you in a place where, you know, you just felt, because you're right, you don't have to be accepted by somebody else to think that you're beautiful. And I always say there's no bigger spectator and biggest cheerleader is yourself.
Exactly.
You know, you can't expect anybody else to want to accept you if you don't accept yourself. So it starts with you, and everything starts with you. So you know, viewers, if you're watching, you know, my guest here, Lorraine, how can people connect with you? Because I know you do stand-up comedy for events and things like that. How can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube, Mr. Lorraine. I'm on Instagram, Mr. Lorraine1. Facebook, everywhere. I'm even wearing my
No.
name is
Lorraine.
Mr. Lorraine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I walk around with my name
It's a
on
brand. It's a brand. It's a brand. Okay.
Amazing. So it's a brand now.
Yeah,
so, you
no,
know,
Mr.
you may want to
Lorraine is
speak
a
to Claire about franchising.
Exactly.
She'd have to clone herself. That might be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is what we're saying. So, you know, thank you for sharing your story.
No,
And
thank you so
viewers,
much.
if you are listening from home or you're just joining us, you've just joined the Momentors Talk Show, and it's the launch, and we're talking to some of the ladies' adversities and how it's landed them to where they are today. And, you know, I just really want to be able to throw to you guys, the panel, really, you know, what sort of challenges do you face being women in leadership? And obviously, Eula, you've been involved in the finance banking world for a very long time, over 30 years, probably 40 years, yes. So, you know, what sort of challenges did you find? Because I know you were a branch manager, weren't you? And won many awards for that. So you did very well. You excelled in that role.
I think for me, the challenges in the corporate environment is one around promotion, and they assume that being a woman, you're going to have babies and therefore not come back to work and not going to be focused on the job at hand. You're going to think more on the family side. So it's how do you move forward from that? Is you've got to be able to prepare yourself to catch up on what you've missed, get yourself mentors, and then reach or plan the goal that you want to achieve and attach yourself to that person. This is what I did while I was internally. If I want to go to that promotion level, I would then align myself to that person and work towards or work in partnership with that so I could share. But that's one of the challenges of promotion, but also being a diverse and a cultural woman within the environment is challenging in itself, because, you know, at the level you're at, to reach to more of a senior hierarchy, there was never enough of us there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've really got to look at how do you make sure that you are one of the 10, if you know what I mean, and how do you crack that code? Again, you know, you're put down, but you've got to raise that belief in yourself that I'm just as good as the next person. And that's what got me through. Having won sort of Woman of the Year as well for a lot of stuff, I engage myself within the internal and external community. Because if you don't know the community you serve, you cannot then grow your business. And I was placed mainly in the Jewish community, which I did not know how they operate. So I had to find out, and that bring the actual business growth into my branch. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, just obviously talking on, just asking questions from, you know, hearing from what Eula's saying is that there's underrepresentation. Does that mean our show's ended? Yeah.
Yes, nearly
There is.
5,000.
Yeah, I agree with you. There is underrepresentation
Yeah.
as well, and I think what is really important is that we have to believe in ourselves. You said this earlier, before anybody else.
That's what I was
If
gonna
you don't
say,
believe in
it's
yourself,
self-belief,
who else
isn't
can
it?
believe in you? And I think that's quite important. So I totally agree with you, because even in the corporate world, when I worked in the corporate world as well, you have to push yourself forward, and you have to, again, I'm referring to Rich Women Africa, but you have to make your voice heard. How else can your voice be heard if you don't push yourself forward? So, yeah.
Thank you. So I think we'll stop the show.
Sure.
Okay.
Welcome, viewers. It's Mo from the Momentous Talk Show, a platform where I speak to leading women in ministry, business, politics, construction, finance. If you're that woman, then you want to become more and do more, because guess what? You have capacity for more. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Sky 589, Faith World TV, where you'll get inspiration. From Momentous Talk Show, bye-bye.